Hello everyone, this is Breanna Rutter, author of one of my most popular books, The Natural Hair Bible, and founder of howtoblackhair.breannarutter. For this video, I will be answering a question that was sent to me from Pamela. Pamela emailed me saying that she's new to the idea of oil rinsing. She's heard me mention it in various other videos, but what she wants me to do is actually go with an explanation as far as how to actually perform an oil rinse and also give some tips along the way. So thank you, Pamela, for your email. I'm going to break down some things that you want to do when oil rinsing, as well as provide some tips. So the very first thing that I'm going to state is that you have to begin with freshly shampoo washed hair. You don't want any product buildup on your hair. You don't want dirty hair. You don't want 2-day-old twist out hair. You want freshly damp shampooed hair. Your hair has to be clean, and I prefer that right before you do an oil rinse that you shampoo with a sulfate shampoo. Now, I don't suggest shampooing your hair frequently with a sulfate shampoo. I suggest that you only do it to do a deep cleanse and to strip the outside of your hair of any type of product buildup or grime or anything like that, so that way you're starting off with clean, perfectly clean hair. Now, after you've shampooed your hair, the next thing that you want to do is make sure that you are applying an adequate supply of oil to your hair. So when you are using oil, it has to be, of course, of a liquidy consistency, which is about the third tip that I was going to suggest, is that you want to make sure that your oil of choice is at a loose consistency. This gives you a range of oils from using castor oil, for example, coconut oil, almond oil, grapeseed oil, olive oil, jojoba oil. Those are very great oils to use when you are oil rinsing, because the thing is, if you use very heavy oils like maybe shea oil, for example, or other type of seed or nut oils, this will cause a lot of buildup, and then it will be harder to actually rinse out it effectively as you're oil rinsing. The trick is that you want to use as light of an oil as possible while also rinsing out the remaining oil that's left on your hair. So on wet shampooed hair, previously shampooed, you have to apply a large amount, maybe possibly a palm-sized amount of oil to your hair. You're going to rub it all through your hair. You're going to make sure you're focusing on your root to mid-shaft, because the remaining oil will actually start to drip and slide down your hair regardless. So don't worry about oiling the ends. Worry about oiling your root area and the mid-length or mid-shaft area of your hair. And then continue to rub the oil down section by section, depending on how thick your hair is, to make sure that all of your hair is covered. Now, for the last part of oil rinsing, you have to actually rinse your hair out. You don't want to just go on and just style your hair, because now you have oil everywhere. You have oil dripping off already previously shampooed hair, because your hair is wet when you put the oil on. So what you want to do is gently rinse your hair with warm to cool water. First, I will suggest that you rinse your hair with warm water for about 3 to 4 minutes to make sure that the oil is very lubricated all the way down your strands. And then for the last minute, I want you to make sure that you're rinsing your hair with cool water. Make sure you do this with the coolest water you can stand, because the thing is that your hair is very sensitive to temperature. All of our hair is very sensitive to temperature. When you're washing your hair with warm water, what happens is that your cuticles raise, or your scales raise on the outside of your hair strands, and it allows for the hair to absorb oil and also to absorb water as well. Now, when you rinse with cold water, what it does is it forces your hair to be as smooth and as shiny as possible. This will force your cuticles to lie straight, flat down, which actually retains the water and the oil that you have placed on your hair. So the final rinse is like a little shock rinse. You're just going to gently rinse your hair through with the coolest water you can stand, so that way you're helping your hair to retain as much moisture as possible. This is a great tip for people who feel like it's hard for them to manage their hair because it's dry all the time, is that when you are rinsing your hair out in the shower, whether it's after you've just finished car washing or shampooing, hit your hair with a little bit of cool water and run it through for about a minute or two, as much as you can stand, so that way it minimizes the frizziness, poofiness, and also it helps your cuticles to lie down as straight, as flat as possible to your hair, so that way it's not exposing and moving moisture away from the inside of your hair. So that's kind of, I guess, like a talk through explanation about how to oil rinse. Now, everyone is different. Some people like to make sure that they actually deep condition first before they oil rinse, because they feel like they can benefit more. And then some individuals like to use a more thicker consistency of oil to oil rinse. So start off with the suggestions that I've given you, but adapt your hair and your specific things to what's going to work best for you as well. So thanks for your email. Thank you all for watching. And before any of you go, make sure to sign up to my email list so that you can be automatically entered into any giveaways that I do. And also, only there you can receive exclusive content. So until then, I will see all of you in my very next video.